Latrobe Speedway studio. Welcome to Ride Along Podcast.
Garry, Latrobe Speedway fans, and welcome to another edition of the Joe's Body Shop and Towing Latrobe Speedway podcast. It's great to have you all here, and my goodness, do we have a busy, busy week for you. So much information to go through, so much information to share. It's kind of tough to even know where to begin, but just kind of bear with us. We're going to wing it like we always do. But I tell you what, before we get started and before I introduce you to our very special guest here tonight, here at the Speed Shop, I want to, Joe's Body Shop and Towing, we're on location here this week. And I tell you what, I want to thank the hospitality of probably one of the finest car culture, motorsports, pinstripes in the entire country. We are here, and lettering, classic lettering, we are here at the Paint Shop in Somerset. This is the home of the legendary Casey Kennel. Casey, you want to take a moment? Come over here and stick your head in here and say hi to all my Latrobe Speedway friends. Thank you for being so hospitable. You know, Casey, boys, Casey is known nationally for his work in drag racing, hot rodding, motorcycles. His custom motorcycle work has been featured in magazines all over the country many, many times. But what's interesting is Casey's work is also very well known in nostalgia modified racing and vintage modified racing. And some of Casey's drivers are actually going to be making their way to our Latrobe Speedway. I believe it's July 29th when the Vintage Modified Series makes its annual visit to our Speedway. Casey does a lot of work, but in particular, our good friend John Marks, who makes the trip from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, each and every time the vintage mods come to Latrobe. So we'll give a shout out to John Marks. And when you see that number 34, 1936 Chevy Coupe that John races at Latrobe with us, that's the work, the workmanship, the artistry genius of Casey Kennel. Casey, thanks for having us, man. Here among all this fine art. But anyway, folks, as I mentioned, we have a busy, busy week here at Latrobe. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I give the absolute utmost credit to Dennis, Kathy, and the entire Latrobe Speedway team, because we are pulling out all the stops to accommodate our Latrobe Speedway racers who just haven't had a lot of chance to race this year. So we're going to get into the full schedule for this weekend a little later on. But our special guest tonight, I want to welcome, he's the Director of Operations for the Jay's Automotive ULMS series, and that is our friend Trevor Zuver. Trevor is doing his marketing and doing his regular Monday through Friday work up in the Empire State, the great state of New York. So Trevor, welcome to the Joe's Body Shop and Towing Speed Shop, and looking forward to having you on Saturday, the first ever trip of ULMS here to Latrobe.
Yeah, appreciate having me, Mike. You gave me a call a couple days ago. I'm glad to come on, and we're very excited, looking forward to this Saturday, coming at you guys at Latrobe Speedway.
Well, tell us a little bit about how this played out. Dennis, our promoter, Dennis loves, and the crate late models are our premier division every week. But anytime Dennis sees an opportunity to bring in the super lates, he likes to jump on it. And this provided an opportunity to bring in, with Mother Nature wreaking havoc, not only with our Latrobe schedule, but I know with you guys as well, because believe it or not, we're pushing the end of July. Folks, ULMS only has 4 races in this year. Probably reiterate this, has just wreaked havoc. Tell us how this all came about with you and Dennis. We know you're out in central Pennsylvania on Friday night at Path Valley. It certainly made sense to make a stop here at Latrobe.
Oh, yeah, of course. No, I mean, the past couple of years, we've done the same race with Path Valley, and typically we have a date to go with it, whether it be Port Royal or Big Diamond or somewhere else down in that area. But this year with go with it. And with your guys' cancellation throughout the year and with our, finally, the Dillingers and some other groups that run with us, they made the decision to say, hey, you guys should try to get this date at Latrobe. And Latrobe's not a person we've ever even had a thought of going to. It's not against them. It's just we never really, it never worked out in our schedule and our travel-wise to go to Latrobe. And how everything worked out, it's been perfect. I personally have not had the chance yet to speak with Dennis. I'm looking forward to that. Chris Zuver, he's actually my father. He's the one that started ULMS. Him and Chris have been the point for bringing this race together. I have just been the one managing it, how it's been going on, what we're going to do. But I'm very happy to be here. I'm blessed that we were able to have the opportunity to come on board for this event, the Ron Schmucker Memorial. I'm glad we were able to put some more money up. Thankful to the family for that. It looks like it's going to be a great show. I'm hoping for around 2024 cars. We'll see. It's a little interesting on both Becky and us. I'm curious to see where we're going to land at, but I know the money's right. I know it's going to bring a few more cars. Having it be a 2-day show now, we're already looking at a great field for Path Valley. I'm expecting to 35.
Family is the patriarch. I'll give you a little quick history lesson. The Schmuckers are the patriarchs of this hallowed piece of racing ground that we party on every Saturday night with several thousand of my friends. And I'm glad you see the significance and pointed out the significance of the Schmucker family coming aboard and really making this a lucrative 30-lap feature event. There's also some contingencies that Dennis and Kathy have thrown in as well. Hard charger, I think fast time, things of that sort.
Yeah, right now we have, I think
it also
hard charger,
provides
fast time, heat winners.
Drivers. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it provides your drivers a very unique opportunity. If a lot of our Latrobe Speedway fans aren't familiar, Path Valley is literally a bowl. It's a bowl.
Yeah. Very small to very big.
Completely different. Yes, it's completely different than what your drivers are going to see for our fans here at the Big Half Mile, the speed plan here in Westmoreland County. So have you had a chance to talk with any of your drivers and so on as far as the uniqueness of this? And there's going to be a lot of gear changes, quick change gear changes. Thinking Friday night and all day Saturday between the two tracks.
Yeah, I got a feeling once they leave Friday night, I got a feeling most of our guys are going to head there Friday night after the show. And I think you'll be seeing them guys at the racetrack Saturday morning with them cars torn apart already, getting them gears changed, tires swapped, everything ready for that day. It's going to be a big difference in racetracks, that's for sure.
No. Absolutely. And I want to go back, if I may, Trevor, to the Schmucker family. Of course, This used to be called Schmucker Speedway. This was all farmland owned by Paul Schmucker, the patriarch. And our event now, 30 laps, $5,000 to win. And I don't think it's a top-heavy purse. I want to get into the fact that just to start the race, you're going to take home $450. So it's a very lucrative purse the whole way through. And Dennis prides himself in that. A lot of drivers, the mentality is to think they like to look not what the win is, but what 10th pays. Usually 10th is a good indication of how lucrative the entire purse is. And Dennis does a great job with that and of giving back to the drivers. And I just hope we have a great turnout from your series. It's great to have Jay's Automotive. I know you have Jay's corporate sponsor, marketing partner with you also is involved in another way as well. Your elite series or elite driver series. I'll let you touch upon that if you may.
Yeah, of course. First, I want to go back to the payout. I want to thank all the Schmuck family and Dan and Dennis for doing that. And like you talked about the payout being great through the field, that's something we at ULMS try to do for all our shows. In the past 3 years, we've upped our not on top, but in the back end for the smaller guys that they're supporting everybody every weekend. You need that money in the back end for them guys to keep coming. Races this year, we've averaged, I think, 36 race cars, in West Virginia in northern PA, southern PA. Last year we averaged like 32. A lot of our shows are bigger shows. We averaged 40 to 45 race cars for some of those. And that's just because of the payout in the back end. We might not have the biggest $10,000 races, a $10,000, $1,000 start, but we might have 4 or 5 with $500 start race. And that money pays out in the back, and that's why we get a great field of cars almost everywhere we go. So I think that's going to really pay dividends come this weekend. When it comes back to the our sponsor-wise we were talking about, yes, we have Jay's Automotive. He's out of Hinsdale, New York. And I can't think Jeff Shaw, that's who owns Jay's Automotive. He's actually my tech guy. Jeff's been my tech man for going on 5 or 6 years with ULMS. And before that, we used to run McKean County Raceway in Smethport, Pennsylvania. Jeff actually was our tech guy there. I started back in 2014-ish. But I couldn't have been happy more to have Jeff come on board this year with Jay's Automotive. They do a great job there. You can always reach out to me or Jay and get any information on them. And we have Jay's Auto Wrecking. That's Charlie Bob out of Pennsylvania. Charlie does a whole bunch of work for the racing community. He's been involved for decades on end. He's supported Erie, State Line, Pontiac up at Raceway 7. He supports a bunch of drivers. He's supported us for several years. And sadly, this actually might be the last year Charlie does this, as he might be folding up his business year. He's getting ready to retire. But due to Charlie coming on board this year, we're able to pay all of our elite guys, at least the top 5 in points in the top 10. They get guaranteed $500. $500. That makes it easier for those guys to make the track. I think anybody knows anymore in the last 3 years with the spiking diesel prices, it's not cheap to go to these races, especially travel 3 weekend. Anywhere from an hour to 3 hours apart, it gets quite costly. So for him to be able to put up the money and support us to give back to the drivers, it's been great working out for us, as we had 10 guys sign on this year. That's in 23 years of business. This is our 23rd racing season. So it was a huge difference for us. I think it's a great step into the direction that I'm trying to go to. As for those that don't know, Chris has done this whole program for 23 years, pretty much by himself. In the last 3, I've taken over and I have gone into a different direction. I've gone into a way was going, but I've gone in a way that I've tried to push more drivers collectively. I want to put forward what their best decisions are. I'd like to put my best foot forward for them, and that's the way I've been going. That's the drivers say I've been doing the right thing. Promoters seem to be saying the same thing, and I believe it's paying off. Schedule this year, which was perfect for these guys. The points fund is great. The money out is great. And right now, with all our sponsors coming together, it's only building. Our program's getting bigger and bigger. Now we're with you guys here at Latrobe. I think this might be a relationship we can grow for years to come, and hopefully we can grow this event even bigger. And I'm just looking forward to it.
You have certainly acclimated yourself very well. You're very well spoken, and I'm sure your dad's very proud of you. You're doing a fine job. 10 real quick after your 4 events. I just want to throw some names out to our Latrobe fans who they may or may not see, but your current point leader is Tyler Emery out of King, Virginia. Yes. Ryan Montgomery out of Fairmont, West Virginia is currently 2nd in your points. And help me with this, Dylan Cece?
Yes, Dylan Cece, yep. Yes,
is that how you say that? Adam is currently he's currently 3rd. Jacob Hawkins, the Hawkins brothers. Jacob is currently 4th in points out of Fairmont. The first Pennsylvania driver, David Steele, calling his name at Bedford many times. Braden Dillinger, very familiar, obviously, with our Latrobe.
He'll be one of your regulars
down in Dawson. Sure. Is currently 6th in points. Absolutely. And here's a name. Here's a throwback name. Boy, I'd like to see him down here from Bear Lake, Pennsylvania. Currently 7 in points. Chubb Zilla. Chubb Frank. Then you have Logan Zarin, currently 8th in points from Moon Township, another basically a local driver. Daryl Charlier, Bulger, Pennsylvania, is currently 9th in points. Smith, Carolina, not our friends from Bar Hill State. So we'll
cars there in the familiar, at least the fans out there might be familiar with the Tyler Emery this year. He kind of came onto the scene this year. We've helped really grow his name with him traveling around with he actually just won the Appalachian Speed Week points deal about a month ago there with Jim Bernheisel and them. The gang down there put a great series of races
Yes.
together. They brought back that Speed Week deal. And Tyler went out and won a couple of races. He's got a couple podiums, and he actually ran. I think they had well over 50 or 60 cars that week, and he bested them all for the points. And there was obviously some hot shots down there in that. You know, you had like Satterley for one, some of those guys, Ziegler and them were down there. I mean, he wasn't against any slouches, and that guy came through. Tyler drove a great race with then Pete Karen Motorsports race car, and he took the points win there. And he's been doing great with us. He had a couple tough runs opening night down at Ohio Valley Speedway, but since then they've seemed to come together. He's got a couple wins without us. He's got a couple wins when we haven't been racing. I think he has a couple Potomac, Marion Center. His first time actually Marion Center, I believe he won his first race there. And he's been fast all year long. He's smooth. He's got a great race car. He's a great kid. He's young. He's not much older than me, and him and that crew are great. Ryan Montgomery, the 4S car, that's a Terry Suffolk car. A bunch of different drivers have been in that, and that has been a champion car with the United Late Model Series, actually. He's had Dave Hess in that race car. Some guys might be familiar from Dave Hess, of course, Erie, Pennsylvania. Dave won that championship with us a few times. That was back in 2016 and 17. Yep. Dylan Cece, he's new actually to the late model scene. This is only his second or third year in a late model. I believe it's his first full year actually running one though, and his first full year traveling, and that'll be with us. That car is owned by Russ Clark, and they do a great job. It's great equipment. Dylan and them, they are wonderful, wonderful people. I love talking to Dylan. They're great guys. They work really hard on their stuff. He actually just won another pro stock race, I believe, up in Outlaw in Dundee this past Friday or Saturday. I saw Jacob Hawkins. I love Jacob. We got a great relationship with him. We don't get to see him too often. That was he's still fourth in the points because he ran really, really well in our first two races down in West Virginia at Ohio. Paul, but he's welcome to say hi to him. Obviously, I think a lot of you guys probably know the name Dave Stam, and Dave's ran with, he might not have the best equipment, and he'll tell you the same thing, but Dave's an awesome guy. He's one that he's not going to get in your way. He'll move out. And he's always right there, though, in the back. He's one that has fun doing it. That's one guy you want to make friends with because he is wonderful to be around. He's friendly, has always had a smile on his face. He has nothing ever negative to say about anybody. Braden Dillinger, obviously one of your guys' regulars in a crate racing. I'm glad to see Braden on board this year. His dad and him got a hold of us this past winter, and he talked about coming on board. We weren't sure how that was going to work out. I wasn't sure if he was going to stay on board or not. A lot of the guys, you always have you just don't know what they're going to do. They might have a bad couple nights and say, all right, we're done for the year. They actually did end up having a bad couple nights. The first 2 nights out, they got wrecked. They got caught off and stuff. And that was due to a lot of drivers going over their head, and they admitted that as I had to vastly speak about it the next drivers meeting that day and clear it up. Which is something I'm going to have to do again, sadly, this Friday night. But I love Braden. He was great. I talked to him last, not this past Sunday, but the Mike Fall race of ours at Erie's. He had a bunch of fun. We talked to him, and he's looking forward to this one. Chubb Frank, I love Chubb. I've known him he's known me more or less since I was about a toddler. I mean, I was only yay high. He's great. I'd love to see Chubb down there. I'm not too sure what his weekend's plans are. I know he just races when he wants, and he's allowed to. It's Chubb. Yeah. Logan Zarin, he's a new one too to the late model scene. He's been in this, I think it's his second or third year as well in a super late model. He used to do a lot of crates at Pittsburgh at PPMS, which just got a new ownership. Congratulations to Blair Kress, and thanks everybody there at the Miley family that's done it for the past 30 or so years. But he runs Pittsburgh and Lernerville a lot. He's been traveling this year, and he's been doing really, really good. He qualified up at Sharon for all 3 of the Outlaw shows, I do believe. I believe he made another one down at Marion Center. And actually just our last race down there at the Mike Fall race at Erie's, he was against some pretty good cars. We had a tough competition of cars down there. And he started off 6th, I believe. And sadly, he ended up, I think the fuel pump went out on him in turn number 4 on the first lap of the race. And that ended his night. He would have had a great finish that night and probably would have bumped him up into the top 5 in points. Obviously, Daryl Charlier. I'm not sure if too many people know about Daryl. He's been out of the racing side for around 5 or 6 years, I believe. He used to be big into the modifieds. He's out of Pittsburgh as well. They run the 3RK karting. It's one of the bigger karting things in indoor karting series in Pittsburgh. They do great. They're great people to work with. I hope Daryl's able to make it. He is one of our elite drivers, the Jay's Auto Wrecking elite drivers. Sadly, he's having issues with the car owner right now, and what they're going to do. They're trying to work through that issue. So I'm hopefully Daryl can make it this Saturday. Jeff Smith, I'm not sure what Jeff's doing. I heard a little bit about this weekend, but I can't confirm. I know when I talked to Jeff down at Tyler County when we had our race there, he was so happy with us. He said we're one of the best outfits he's ever been with, and he's been racing for a long time. I'm not sure how many people know this, but I am only 20. I'm going on 21 years old, but I've been doing this for 10 years now already, believe it or not. And Jeff said, and he's double my age, well over my age, and he'll tell you, he's a great guy to be around. He said, we're the best outfit he's ever been with on a regional scale. We run a great, smooth show, friendly as can be. So I know he said he wanted to make some more shows. I heard a little bit of ruffled feathers this weekend. He might be making a visit somewhere. So I'd like to see Jeff if he can. And that concludes our top 10. I know we got a couple more elite drivers. We're not going to dip into all of them. We're just going to keep on talking here. So I'll let you take back control here, Mike.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Absolutely. That's quite an assessment of your current top 10 coming into this big doubleheader weekend for ULM, for the Jay's Automotive ULMS super late models. Path Valley Friday, Latrobe Speedway Saturday. Real quick, of the 4 races that you have been able to beat Mother Nature, I know you mentioned Tyler County was one of them. Tyler County, West Virginia. Who were the other 3 tracks that you guys were able to get events in at?
Yeah, we opened off due to rainouts. Our schedule got pushed back about 2 months, just because of all the rain back in the year. So we ended up starting off at Ohio Valley Speedway. Then we went to Tyler County the following night, and then we were at Lernerville Speedway, and for the William Conda Memorial. That is, I don't know if a lot of people know John McConnell with the garage crawl.
Yes.
That's his memorial race for his parents. We do that every year for John. So we went to Lernerville for that, and then we had our race 2 weeks ago, which was a rain makeup from the previous week. Again, the rain wins. That was for the Mike Farm Memorial at Erie. So we've been at Ohio Valley, Tyler County, Lernerville, and Erie so far this year. 4 races. It's been an awful year for us. The worst year in, I think, almost any year we've been in business. I know that at least in the last 7 since I've really come on board with the late model series side, other than the racetrack. It's been the worst year we've had since then. Awful year. Usually we should have at least a dozen races in right now. It's been killer.
Well, I'll tell you what, Trevor, it has been an absolute pleasure talking with you. You are a wealth of knowledge. You certainly have this series going in the right direction. Do us a favor, bring some of those really cool 2023 ULMS, Jay's Automotive ULMS t-shirts for our fans. They love to pick up some new merchandise anytime they can. So make sure you bring that ULMS trailer, apparel trailer, and I'm sure you're going to get the opportunity to meet so many of our great fans. Very well knowledgeable, fun-loving people. You're going to have a blast here on Saturday. Trust me, Westmoreland County, the most coveted piece of real estate in the entire county, you're going to be sitting on the Schmucker's family farm, Latrobe Speedway, buddy. Thank you so much. Safe travels. Get your butt back from New York. You got a big weekend of racing.
That's right.
We're going to see you on Saturday, my friend.
That's right. I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.
Trevor, pleasure meeting you, my friend. Thank you. See you Saturday.
That's right. See you, Mike. You have a good night.
Classic interview. Trevor Zuver from the Jay's Automotive ULMS Super Late Model Series. Do you think he's excited about coming to Latrobe? We're excited to have him and his drivers. You know, folks, we talk about the weather so much that I don't even want to talk about it anymore. All I know is kudos to Dennis. For the first time, I don't know, in a long time or even ever, we're racing twice. We're giving our stock car race drivers the opportunity. Let's get some races in. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're calling it Wild Card Friday. Can you imagine being at our party palace on a Friday night? And that's exactly what we're going to do. We have a big night planned on Friday. We hope you'll plan to be with us. Let me tell you what we have on board for you. The Specialty Metals modified 4 cylinders will be in action. Marilungo Disposal strictly stock 4 cylinders. We're going to finally have the Dean Pollock hobby stocks in action. Something we're going to have some fun with, the Steel Block 358 limited late models. And this is based on the Marion Center rules package. And that's going to be a $1,000 to win event for the Steel Block 358 limited lights, along with $125 to start. Now, Friday night's event, same thing. Pit gates open at 4, grandstand gates at 5, and we're going to go racing at 5 o'clock. Something interesting to keep in mind for our drivers from our regular divisions, non-point race Friday night. Just come on out, have some fun, let's race, and let's put some laps on those stock cars that you work so hard over the winter to get ready for Latrobe Speedway. So non-points race Friday night. Saturday, the big Ron Schmucker Memorial here at Latrobe Speedway. As you've heard, the ULMS super late models going 30 laps, $5,000 to win. We have $450 to start. Trevor said they all start at 5. We'll figure all that out. That's not for us to worry about. What we're going to do, our job is to enjoy the night and watch the super lates speed around our half-mile speed plant here at Latrobe. The Pure Stocks have just been phenomenal as far as their support. The Joe's Body Shop and Towing Pure Stocks. So what we are also going to do Saturday night is present the Bill Finley Memorial for the Joe's Body Shop and Towing Pure Stocks, $1,500 to win. Of course, the K2 Engineering crate late models will be in action Saturday night. The Specialty Metals modified 4 cylinders and the Marilungo Disposal strictly stock 4 cylinders in action again. Saturday is a Latrobe Speedway Championship points race night. So even though the Specialty Metal modified 4 cylinders and the Marilungo Disposal strictly stock 4 cylinders are racing both nights, only Saturday is a points race. You know, with all this activity, all this information, this busy schedule, communication is huge, race fans. So I invite you to keep up to date with LatrobeMotorsports.com and also our Facebook page, Latrobe Speedway Stock Car Racetrack. This is where DJ Johnson is absolutely invaluable. He's updating information constantly via our social media sites. So please visit often, daily, give us a like on Facebook, follow us, get to our website. As you can see, we have a very busy weekend. It's even tough to follow. I will not be able to be with you Friday evening, have some hot rod stuff to do, but I leave you in the very capable hands of my buddy Dave Lape. Looking forward to seeing all of my Latrobe Speedway lunatic fans Saturday night for the big Ron Schmucker Memorial Night, along with the Bill Finley Memorial for the Joe's Body Shop and Towing Pure Stocks. You know, we end our show each and every week letting our corporate family, our business sponsors know that the success that we've enjoyed at Latrobe Speedway is not possible without them. It's impossible. So always remember, when you're in need of any of the products or services offered by these sponsors, please remember to keep in mind, support them, because they love what I love and they love what you love. And that is stock car racing at the great, historical, legendary Latrobe Speedway. So here we go. We want to thank K2 Engineering, of course, Joe's Body Shop and Towing for helping to present this show, sponsoring our Pure Stocks, Specialty Metals, Marilungo Disposal, Dean Pollock. We want to thank Wisneski Waste Removal, along with our friends at Bowers Farms. Also, a huge thank you goes out to Latrobe Glass and Mirror, General Carbide, Bowman's Plumbing, Garry's Auto Sales, Porta-John, the Auto Tag Store, RPM, A1 Machine and Performance, Seal Tite Paving, DJS Swag, and GVD Powder Coating. What a night this has been with our good friend Trevor Zuver from the ULMS Super Late Model Series, and what a weekend! What the next 48 and 72 hours brings us is going to be nothing but the most speed, thrills, and excitement that your going to be able to handle. So we'll see you all at Latrobe Speedway starting this Friday. Both nights, gates open at 4 for the pits. Grandstand gates open at 5, racing at 7. Listen, everybody, thanks for coming along and enjoy and visiting the Casey Kennel Paint Shop here in Somerset, Pennsylvania, as we proudly bring you the Joe's Body Shop and Towing Latrobe Speedway podcast. Thank you very much. God bless. See you this weekend.